John Savage and the UCLA Bruins, they're headed to Omaha, the greatest show on dirt, the best event in all of college sports. And man, oh man, what a shocker for this team to get there, taking down UTSA and dominating the regional. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
On this Sunday afternoon, UCLA has finally clinched their first trip to the College World Series since 2013. And oh, by the way, when was the last time they made it there? Yeah, the same year they won the whole thing in 2013. What's funny, though, is UCLA looks completely different. Welcome, everybody. It's Locked On UCLA. Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer with you guys. Clearly, I'm excited. I hope you are excited, too. Welcome back, everydayers. The Bruins took on a scrappy UTSA team, the Roadrunners, who took down the number 2 team in the country, the number 2 overall seed in Austin, and beat them 3 times in a year, twice in their own regional, beat Kansas State, and came to UCLA, some of the national writers, especially for D1 baseball, were like, this is a team that could take down UCLA. And don't let the 2-game sweep fool you. Texas San Antonio, UTSA was a scrappy, good ball club. It was a battle of which team's pitching would show up, which hitters would get the big hits. And I thought this game would be a lot more of a showcase offensively than what it actually was, which was a UCLA 5-2 victory and a UTSA just falling apart at the end there, where UCLA put them away 7-0 in game 2, getting the 2-game mini sweep, and the Bruins are off to Omaha. What UCLA was able to do, one of the keys for the weekend, I thought, how could UCLA respond and how would they respond to taking the first punch? Well, UTSA came in on a Saturday afternoon and belted a leadoff home run. Stole home, kind of gave us shades of the UCLA softball team against Texas Tech in the Women's College World Series. Like, dude, another steal of home. What's going on? And then the Bruins responded with a comeback, just slowly but surely, and then eventually took a 3-2 lead, and then another big-time triple in the gap for UCLA late to break it open. And finally, in this one, UCLA chipping away as the designated road team to put this one to bed. After an umpire switch, after a pitching injury, they just put the runs on the scoreboard and were clearly a team of destiny. They got the run they needed. They beat some scrappy West Coast teams. They beat a Texas team, not a Texas Longhorn team, but a UTSA Roadrunner team to get themselves to the next level. And they've been good at home all season long. UCLA 5-0 so far in the postseason, 31-7, if I'm not mistaken, at Jackie Robinson Stadium. A place where the Bruins weren't necessarily guaranteed to play this year. Practicing at Birmingham High School in the offseason as late as October before the season got put together with, all right, they were able to figure out that they could play there for this year, all right? Otherwise, they would have been displaced like USC's been for the last couple of years. And maybe UCLA will do something similar like USC's done in terms of having to play home games elsewhere in future seasons. But the fact that they got the regional, dominated, took care of business in their super, and now if you look at the NCAA bracket, UCLA plays the winner of Murray State and Duke. And 1, the Bruins get a day of rest. 2, Murray State and Duke, that's going the full 3 games. Murray State put 19 runs on the board in game 2 in Durham, North Carolina. So that's going a full set. They're playing Monday. UCLA, we'll see if they play earlier in the weekend or later in the weekend, day 1 or day 2 of the Men's College World Series. Either way, the Bruins are rested, they're recovered, and their pitching came out and played and pitched well. 2 runs in 2 games. Wow. They have been elite in this season. And you keep hearing me harp on why this pitching staff is, a bit of concern if they're trying to go win the whole thing. You're in Omaha. Now you're at, okay, this is just gravy for a young team that can return majority of their lineup, majority of their players, if they stay to UCLA next year and go and run as well. This is why I keep saying what I am. All right. And let's compare this to the last time they made it to Omaha, a completely different team. This year's team, which has been utterly dominant at home, co-Big Ten champs, Big Ten tournament runners-up. But in the end, they're the only Big Ten team that made it to Omaha. Second trip to Omaha, mind you, since that Big Ten tournament, if you include that one. UCLA this year, this is their team ERA. All right, their team ERA is just under 4.5, 4.48. They've got overall 16 saves, 544 innings pitched. In this team, 485 strikeouts, 246 walks. And as you'll hear, it's the defense and the double plays turn that leads the country. The most double plays turned in the country, 60 plus double plays turned. And that helps when you've got an elite left side of the infield. You've got Roch Cholowsky, who everybody's saying should be up for the Golden Spikes Award winning. He should be one of the top 2 shortlist contenders for top pick of the 2026 MLB draft. Big Ten Player of the Year, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. That's at shortstop. And then you've got big bats coming through, but it's the pitching staff that gives you concern when you've been rolling with the staff of, is it Michael Barnett? Is it Stump? Is it May at some points? Even Easton Hawk. You get all these guys, you're like, okay, you've heard these names. August Souza, Chris Grotus. You're like, those are guys who've been balling. They all have ERAs over 4. They all have a season ERA. And mind you, this isn't like a small stint. This is big sample size, almost 70 innings, close to 30 innings out of the bullpen. And they've come through in this postseason with ERAs over 4, or in some cases, over 5. Now, there is Wyland Moss, who's been quiet as of late, trying to return and recover from injury. And you wonder what his impact will be in Omaha. It must be, if UCLA is to win a championship, you got to win at least another 5 games minimum to go all the way and do it over a next 10-day stretch after they get this week off to travel, rest, recover, party, and enjoy this super regional win. Because this is a great job by John Savage. 2 postseasonless seasons, a horrible season in 2024, and to bring this freshman class to this point, get them to Omaha, where maybe they're a year early, but this is also probably one of those seasons where, since they're in the Big Ten, despite the travel, it built up their confidence. The non-conference did, beating some of these good teams, and these kids are still good too. These guys have put themselves in a winning way. So I talk about this team that has an ERA of 4.5, which is a concern if you're trying to win a national championship. Let's go back to the 2013 team. Let's give some parallels there. That team had the likes of James Caprillion, 34 appearances, 40 innings, and an ERA of just over 1.5. David Berg, who was an ERA under 1 and had 24 saves. UCLA had Adam Pletko, who went 10-3 with an ERA of 2.25. You had Grant Watson, went 9-3, an ERA just over 3. UCLA, of their most utilized pitchers of 40 innings or more, I'm counting 7 players. 7 players from their national championship winning team that pitched more than 40 innings in UCLA's national championship run. Only one of them had an ERA over 4. So this team in 2025 is the complete opposite. Now it's bullpen, it's matchups, it's defense. UCLA, yes, they'll give up a run. They can mash, they can get back in it. But that team in a ballpark that was holding the ball in back in 2013 when that new stadium opened, UCLA rode their pitching staff. The funny thing is, UCLA as a team hitting-wise, they could not hit. UCLA was a 250 hitting team. 250, but because they held their opponents to a batting average against of 222, UCLA, they only hit 19 home runs as a team. 19 home runs. Now remember, they're fiddling with bats, making them deader. Now they've changed the ball. It's a little warmer. All different types of things have changed since 2013. UCLA, though, could not hit, and they won the national championship in 2013 based on their pitching staff. In 2025, this is what their batting average as a team is. 297, and I'm not sure that even includes this game against UTSA in Game 2. So heading into the end of the weekend, for the most part, they are a team with a 297 batting average who has hit 78 home runs. Now, they've allowed 66, but you go 12 years earlier, they hit 19 home runs and they allowed only 19 home runs. So they've almost doubled the home runs they hit and allowed from 2013 in what they've just done damage-wise this season. All alone, Roch Cholowsky has hit more home runs than the UCLA national championship team did. And that includes what they did in Omaha. That includes the postseason. That includes just about everything for that championship winning team. And Roch Cholowsky is sitting there hitting 370 with great defense and a 23 home runs, 70 RBIs. You got Mulavai Lavu, who's got 85 RBIs, putting in almost like a major league-like season. statistically, with the old school traditional stats, in a third, if not half the games. And the Bruins are putting it, if you can imagine the polar opposite of that championship winning team with still the pedigree and the grit and the tenacity, maybe defensively, it's this team. If you're like, I didn't know if that team was going to win in 2013. I got that same feeling about this 2025 team, but all they got is the same championship winning head coach who's seen the best players come in. He's seen the best players succeed, best players fail. And UCLA has come in and found themselves well within striking distance. And they have a winnable first round matchup. All right. I guess at any point when you've reached Omaha, all of the matchups are winnable. But they're playing Murray State, who could be that Cinderella-like team if they make it to the Men's College World Series. Maybe even if it's Duke, who could take out, quote-unquote, Cinderella in the Murray State Racers. That's a game winnable for UCLA in game one. And remember, it's not as back-to-back unless rain and the weather plays a factor. You do have a day or two to rest, and that could help the UCLA bullpen. But winning game one, where you could potentially play a significant underdog at a stadium UCLA's already played 4 games in, all right? A lot of these teams have not played in Omaha ever in their program history, let alone been within 100, 200 miles of it. And UCLA's already played 4 games here in Omaha in about a month ago. Competitive games where they were facing 10,000 plus fans cheering against them just for Nebraska to make it to the tournament. And UCLA's, yeah, we're going to return. We're going to return when it's filled with more fans, more bright lights, more national coverage, and hopefully a lot more blue and gold. All right, for the first time since that national championship winning team. Because remember, that 2019 team was right on the verge, and we saw Michigan race their way to the national championship series, that close to winning one in 2019. But here the Bruins are, recovering the program, which might not even have a baseball home soon enough. But you know what they'll have? Hopefully a trophy that they can bring home and says, all right, national champs 2025. A lot of work to do, a lot of matchups to decipher and see for John Savage to go watch these games, look at numbers, look at spray charts to devise a game plan for all these teams they're about to face. And we'll find out what that looks like for UCLA in the week or weeks to come. But it'll be super much fun. We'll talk about it here in Locked On UCLA. Again, yes, the Bruins did get some action in the recruiting. I talked with Locked On's The Portal, Brian Smith, that host, and we talked about Champ Smith. We'll talk all about that in future Locked On episodes. And, hey, what's basketball doing? What's the vibe? What's the vibe for football? Everything here in Locked On UCLA. The inauguration of Julio Frank. Does that mean the Bruins are back now that there's a $20.5 million salary cap, if you will, at the House Limit? You're going to want to be here on Locked On UCLA to talk about it all. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and whether it's every night performances, the highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, can't miss moments. There's a game-winning shot. Hey, Tyrese Halliburton. Or it's the breakout player. Hey, Tyrese Halliburton. Or maybe it's Pascal Siakam, who won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. There's never been a better time to get on the action with FanDuel, because FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and or live, because there's player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And maybe you're just going to go simple and be like, all right, who's going to go win on a game-by-game basis? FanDuel's got that. Or if you're like, based off performance trends, are the Pacers going to go steal a game too? Are they going to go steal in terms of another late-game comeback? That's why you want to stay up to date with FanDuel and combine all your bets potentially with the same-game parlay. And if you're new, it's never been a better time to be a new customer, because go to FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. That's going to do it for us here on this Omaha celebration edition of Locked On UCLA. The Bruins take down the Roadrunners, and they're heading back to Omaha. Let's see if they actually can win the whole thing. Hands up, Bruins fans. 8 clap time, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA, fight, fight, fight. This has been Locked On UCLA. Zach signing off. Go Bruins.